Hello, magical people of the internet. I am Jen and welcome to my vlog. I never thought I would. I started this vlog during the pandemic to keep myself motivated and hopefully keep some of you out there motivated and inspired by trying things you never thought you would do because you never know where they are going to lead you. In the past few episodes, I've been talking about a project that I never thought I would do. It was a one-woman show called Year of the Slut, and then I adapted it into a novel called Year of the Slut. The show was a pretty good success. I was able to do it in LA and New York City. I started doing it because it was a showcase piece to kind of showcase my talent when I first got to LA as a writer and an actor. And it didn't lead to the things that I had hoped it would lead to, like getting agents and managers and maybe some producers or directors there, but it did end up going to New York and winning an award, which was so the last thing that I expected, but a lovely kind of detour and surprise. So after the show did well in New York, a lot of people, friends, family, even strangers, suggested that it could be a really fun book, kind of like a Sex and the City. So I adapted the play into a novel. I launched the book in 2018 and it didn't do well at all. It's kind of like a complete failure. Yeah. It was a complete kind of bust. And even though I got really great feedback on the book and really great reviews from the people who actually read it, because of the title, my whole marketing campaign went kaput because I wasn't allowed to do any marketing on social media or on Amazon because of the word slut. The word slut is considered offensive according to their community standards. So all of the ads I tried to place on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and even on Amazon where the book is available were blocked. They were not approved. So basically I was dead in the water. I couldn't get the word out to anyone beyond my friends, family, and followers, which is, you know, a pretty dismal number when you're trying to start a business and sell a product. So I was grappling with this challenge. It was a huge roadblock and a huge disappointment too, because I had spent a lot of money, a lot of effort, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on this project. I can't even tell you the number of times I had rewritten the project, hired an editor, been so discouraged by their notes I couldn't look at it for several months, finally muster up the courage to go back to it. Countless rejections from publishing companies, literary agents, and eventually a friend of mine encouraged me to just self-publish the book on my own. So that's what I did, like 3 editors later. And dozens and dozens of rejections. And when I say rejections, I don't even mean rejections. I mean people not even responding, just submitting it and crickets. Like, you know, a lot of these people like don't even kind of have the time. They get so many submissions, they don't even have the time to say, no, you suck. You just don't hear from them ever, ever, ever. So it was really disheartening. And it was a lot of kind of feeling motivated and feeling excited and then feeling really discouraged and really down on myself. But thanks to some really amazing friends and colleagues who were supportive and encouraging through this whole process, I made it to the finish line and I did eventually publish my book. Woohoo! And then I couldn't advertise and nobody knew it existed. Stacy Dymalski, the memoir midwife, who, if you need help getting your story out or learning about the self-publishing process, check out her book, check out her website. She's amazing. She helped me. She was one of the most important people who helped me along this journey of getting my book out there. So I definitely would like to recommend her. This is not sponsored. She's just someone who truly helped me, and I know she could help you if that's something that you're looking to do. So Stacy and I were talking about the issue of the title and not being able to get the word out. We were talking about this in September of 2019. It was almost a year since the book had published, and my sales were kind of dismal. Like when I did promos and I got on a book list, I would have some good sales, but I couldn't get the information to enough eyeballs I needed to make a success of this piece. So she suggested changing the title, and at that time I was like, no, I'm not changing the title. The title is like the biggest kind of selling point of the book. It gets people's attention instantly. I don't want to change the title. And she, she shared her point of view that it doesn't matter how great the title is if you can't get the book out there. If you can't get the information to people, then it doesn't matter how great I think the title is. And but at that time I wasn't ready to hear it. I didn't want to hear that I was going to have to change my title to be a success. And in last week's episode, I even talk about how I chased Robert Downey Jr. down the street, and he was literally running away from me. I was trying to invite him to my show, and as soon as he saw the title on the flyer, he stopped in his tracks and wanted to have a conversation with me, because that's how effective the title Year of the Slut has been for me. And I attribute all my success in terms of selling tickets and getting people to come see the show, getting them to leave their house and come to the theater, which is like almost impossible these days. Even blockbuster movies, it's hard for people to get out of their house and go to the theater. Everyone would rather just sit at home and watch whatever's on their streaming service. So the fact that title was able to grab so many people, it was just not something I wanted to consider. And a few months went by. It was December after Christmas, and I started rereading a fabulous book about success and motivation called Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. If you're starting a business, if you have a business, if you're thinking about starting a business, or whatever you want to do in your life, I actually, this is like a really fascinating and great book. So I was reading Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and of course, New Year's Day, literally on New Year's Day, I come across a chapter about a guy who couldn't sell his book. And his book was a total failure, and he decides to rip the cover off of his book, change the title, and the book becomes a huge success, and he becomes a multi-millionaire because of this book, because he changed the title. And I was like, okay, universe, okay, I hear you loud and clear. I hear you. And that is when it finally sunk in that I gotta change the title. It doesn't matter what I want or what I don't want. I want to be successful. More than I want to stick to the title, I want to be successful. So I was just like, okay, universe, I hear you loud and clear. It's New Year's Day 2020, and that's just what I gotta do. That is just what I gotta do. I gotta change the title. If the title is the only thing that's in the way of getting the word out, well then I'm not gonna let that be the one thing that stops me from making a success of this project. And I think it's a big lesson in life and in business. When you believe in something, when do you give up? When do you throw in the towel? I'm not ready to give up on this project yet. I know I've got a great book. I know it's a lot of fun. It's a sassy, irreverent, feminist piece. It's a coming of age story. It's about female empowerment. It's about women being comfortable in their own skin, owning their sexuality. But it doesn't matter how great the book is or how great the message is if nobody knows it exists. And if changing the title is the one thing I need to do to get the book out there, well, I've just got to bite the bullet and change it. This is a hard decision. This has been a really hard decision for me. for several reasons. First of all, the reason I wrote this project in the first place was because of the title. I had the title first. The title is what, I kind of built the whole story around. I just thought it was kind of like a funny, catchy title that could get people's attention kind of instantly. So I've been really married to the title. So this has been a really hard decision. It took me a long time to get here. It took me a long time to figure out what the new title was going to be. I had to beta test some stuff in terms of, because I still wanted it to be a racy, provocative kind of title, but all the titles I was coming up with weren't getting approved for Facebook ads, for marketing stuff. So I needed to err on the side of caution and have something that was intriguing but not necessarily as provocative as I wanted. So I went through many titles and I reached out to some friends and some colleagues, and they probably think I'm the most annoying person in the world because I was harassing people for help. Finally, I came up with something that was actually pretty simple. Year of the Slut is now Year of the What? So it was just one word, a really simple change, and I think the fact that the title's now a question really kind of is intriguing and draws the audience in, as opposed to laying it all out for them on the table. So we'll see what happens with that. We rebranded it. It was Extreme Makeover book version. So there's new artwork, new marketing materials, a new title. Everything inside the book is still the same though. And it's so funny that it took me so long to come up with the Year of the What, because even in the play and in the original book, the protagonist, when she hears the word Year of the Slut, her response is Year of the What? We'll see. I have no idea. I don't know if this book is going to be a success or not, but I do know that I'm not ready to give up on it yet. And I think this is going to be an interesting journey to see if I can turn a failure into a success just by pivoting a little bit in a different direction. And I hope you guys found this story kind of helpful, and maybe it will inspire you to pivot in a direction you didn't think you would go, and definitely try something that you didn't think you would. And I want to hear about it. Let me know what you're working on that you never thought you would do, whether it's a work thing or a personal thing or a fitness thing. I really want to have a conversation with other people, because I think right now the world is in a weird place. We are in a strange place where we never thought we would be. So what better time to do things we never thought we would? And let's see where it can take us. You never know. You might be living your wildest dreams in a few weeks or months or even years from now, because you had the courage to try something that you never thought you would do. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Jen. Please remember to like and subscribe. And in the comments, I'm serious, tell me what you're gonna do that you never thought you would. And I'll see you next week. Thanks.